All right, we're going to rip through a couple topics this week. Ben, the first one we got to hit. This has been blowing up on tech Twitter. China slaps back. The Chinese, it turns out, they're trying to exert some weight here, throw their weight around, show a little bicep. They've been in the gym. What are they doing? We got some new export controls. China this week comes out with an announcement that any product containing more than 0.1% of Chinese rare earth materials needs Beijing's approval before re-export to a third country. It doesn't matter where it's manufactured, Ben. This could be in Singapore, this could be in Turkey, this could be in Latin America, in our own backyard. If it's got Chinese minerals, more than 0.1% Chinese materials, well, you're going to have to go through a Beijing bureaucrat, effective December 1st.
First of all, the idea of dealing with a Beijing bureaucrat to get anything approved probably sounds a disaster. We've got enough difficulty dealing with the bureaucrats in our own country, let alone having to use Google Translate. So the new AirPods, maybe that solves that. Good ad for Apple. We're not sponsored by Apple yet.
Not yet. Apple hit us up.
Yeah. But no, I think the larger issue is this is why we need to have alternative plans, right? Who knows if this is good or bad right here, right? Maybe this is just noise. It doesn't actually affect anything. It's another form. You fill out the form, you use your AirPods to translate the conversation, and it's done. And you get the minerals you need. But maybe it's not. And maybe it's not now, but in the future it can be. And so we have to have alternative plans beyond reliance on one source. That's not good business. You wouldn't do that in your business and risk your supply chain on one thing, whether it was China or a non-hostile country. So you just can't. You got to have alternative plans.
Yeah, I think this is, on one hand, the reindustrialized crew is like, see, this is what we've been talking about. And on the other hand, the reindustrialized crew is like, hell yeah, this is what we've been talking about. Let's roll. Let's build some factories here in America, right? I think here's the key point. Is this a trump card of China? Is this them in panic? This has been a little bit of debate. Is this a strong move from a position of power, or is this a weak move from a position of fear? And, I think one way or another, what it is a Chinese signal that there are two players at this table, not one. It is not, America dictates to the world. China will have their say. Now, while it is not yet, why does this matter? It is not yet a restriction. Yes, obviously it adds time and cost and everything, even if it's just paperwork. But the implied threat is that we, Beijing, could at any moment shut off your supplies, America, Europe, anybody else in the world who pisses us off. And if you know anything about the Chinese, they tend to get pissed off about things that are a little different than the things that piss off Americans. Like, for example, you leave your house during COVID. Little different, right? A little different. You have more than one child. Little different. We don't like that here. So anyway, it's an escalation for sure. Posturing ahead of, Xi was supposed to meet with Trump. I think coming up in November, Trump is saying, there's no reason, but maybe I'll still meet with him. I think the reality is, look, if I were a betting man, and I am in fact a betting man, you go on Kalshi, probably put odds on this. Anyway, you go on Kalshi, you could bet on, is Trump going to meet Xi? I think Trump's going to meet Xi. I think they both want a deal, right? We're still in the moment where they understand Trump wants a deal, but what do you do when you want a deal? You put your chips on the table. They're not keeping anything in reserves. The thing that I thought was maybe particularly interesting, Ben, is there's a tweet from this lady, Zhao Daishui. And the point is, this person says, I am the People's Armed Police Propaganda Bureau. She's owning it, man. She's saying, look, everybody does propaganda, but we here in Beijing, we own that. We tell you the truth. And what she said, and we'll show this here, we are simply sick and tired of the nonstop demonization of anything related to China by the U.S. This export ban of rare earth minerals is just the start. Get ready for this saber rattle, Ben. If the U.S. does not correct its course and stop interfering in our legitimate rights for development, then we will engineer global economic collapse. Global economic collapse. And she ends with this little one. After that, we will let our weapons do the talking. Very ominous, Ben. What do you think? Are we going to war with China?
Tune in next week, and we will find out whether we're going to war with China. Hear it here first.
The Steam Zone is a new reality series. Global economic collapse, war, or just a bunch of niggas.
Just bet it on Kalshi or Polymarket. Don't, whatever Polymarket or Kalshi says will be my take.
There it is. We'll close this one out for now.